And boom, there we are. There we are. Another episode of Surfers Academy. And this time is another special episode because I'm not alone. I'm here with Viola Eva and Helene. If I would say that in Polish, I wouldn't try it. Uh, so, hello. Thank you for coming. If you could quickly introduce yourself, that would be awesome. Microphone is yours. Viola?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation. This topic is a really exciting one. For one, because you're a B2B SaaS, and two, because we work with B2B SaaS. So, very excited. I am typically based in Berlin, Germany. I'm right now calling you from late at night from Thailand because I escaped the gray, rainy Berlin winter, which I'm sure everyone in Poland can also uh, resonate with how that experience is. I'm
Not
the
me.
founder of a company called Flow. I'm the founder of a company called Flow Agency. We used to be called Flow SEO because I'm first and foremost an SEO consultant and content marketer. And today we do SEO and content marketing strategies as well as performance marketing for B2B companies, most of which are B2B SaaS. And excited here to have kind of like the pioneer of everything innovative, creative that we're doing in our company with me here, which is Helene.
Thank you, Helene, for coming.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And actually, you could have probably took a stab at the last name. It's Jelenc. It's Slovenian. So coming from a
Jelens.
similar
All right.
language. Yes. I'm actually American, but based in Slovenia. I'm trying to blend in here. Working at Flow for almost 3 years. I'm the director of SEO, helping oversee everything, kind of developing processes, automations, digging into all things SEO, AI. And yeah, happy to be here and talk about some stuff that we've been digging into
Great.
and talking about.
We got people from Germany. Guido, hello. We got people from India. Like hello, Growth Map, Oklahoma, Texas area, United States. Hello, everyone. Let me know. What do you do? Where are you from? What time is it there? Are you working on B2B SEO, B2C SEO? Maybe you got the agency. Maybe you are in-house SEO. Let us know. Uh, we would love to hear that because this way we will be able to adjust the way we explain things, the way we approach questions and answers, so you can get the most out of it. And we got people from Sweden, from Poland, UK, from Prague, another two people from India, Wisconsin, quite a lot of people from around the world, and the counter is going up, almost 70 people already, which is great. All right, today's topic. Today's topic is B2B SEO and what's in there. What's the next big thing? And well, I'm thinking. Uh, I'm thinking, how can we, in general, how can we predict, uh, based on what? We can predict what could be the next big thing for B2B SEO, and will it be different than B2C SEO? It's a warm up question.
I love
Long
that.
one.
Well, first, firstly, I mean, just to clarify, right? There's no B2B Google, there's no B2B algorithm. SEO is still SEO, whether you're doing that in a B2B context or in a B2C context. I think people used to say like B2C is selling to people and B2B is selling to businesses. But I just want to take this moment as a reminder in B2B, you're also selling to people inside businesses.
Yeah.
And so just kind of wanted to rule that out in the beginning. We're still selling to people, we're still doing marketing for people. The other thing that when I think about B2B, often people say is the biggest difference is that instead of selling to one person that might, buy a candy bar or a new t-shirt or a new camera, in B2B, you're typically selling to a buying committee. So usually there's a group that's making the decision together. And I again want to challenge that because think about the last time when you bought a new car. or when you bought a new sofa. Even though that's a B2B purchase, I would assume you have a buying committee there. You're probably talking with your partner about this. What type of car do you want? You know, what are the requirements? What the budget so far? What is the color? Like, how does it go?
When it
So I
comes
want
to
to
buying
say
a
that
sofa, I'm not even in a buying committee.
Exactly. So you might be maybe you're allowed in the budget discussion, but yeah, you might not be in the buying committee. Fair. But yeah, I think that I just want to clarify, right? There's no B2B algorithm, there's no B2B Google. But I think the more high ticket you go, the more high price you go, the more maybe also sales led you go, you're usually facing a more complex buying decision with more stakeholders, more steps, and longer sales cycles. And so you kind of want to adjust your SEO strategies towards that.
So is it about, Helen, you're a content strategist, so that will be a question to you. Is it more about adjusting the user intent and maybe taking care of covering the topics that share the benefits with the type of B2B buyer? Or it's totally different thing and I do not understand that?
No, yeah, it's definitely thinking a lot more about those personas and not creating content for just one buyer. You're actually creating content for all of those people that are involved in the process. Because, you know, maybe the IT department has some interesting, you know, concerns about how does this integrate? Is it going to be compliant? Is it going to add a new layer of complexity? The people who are using it, are they able to use it? And so people who are actually making the decision to purchase it. So as Viola is saying, there's so many different people that actually gives us a big, wide area of content that we can create and try to make those memorable moments across all of those people, so that when it comes time to have that call and you're talking and you bring up that brand, everyone's like, oh yeah, I know them. I read them. Yeah, I like their content. And then it's much easier to get buy-in.
Great, great. And I think I was supposed to tell everyone watching what's the plan for today, which I obviously forgot. So, everyone, the plan for today is that the warm-up is already done. Thank you for answering. But what are the logistics? We will go through some AI overview stuff. We'll go through some studies on large language models. We will go through like the way we navigate through these new type of thing. We will probably even try to answer the question, is it the right moment today to tackle visibility in large language models, or we should treat it as a bonus for now? So we will go through all of these things, but before we do so, I will show you some new additions to Surfer, as it's Surfer Academy, and I couldn't resist to just quickly show you a few things, and then we go through the things I mentioned, and we will clamp the whole discussion with the live Q&A session. So note your questions, and we will at the very end try to answer as many of them as possible. Maybe we will also tackle how to create a content strategy for this B2B in mind. I mean, I don't know where it can take us. I've got the rough agenda, but we will go with the flow. So, anything to add while I'm switching the screens?
No.
No, we're excited. Right. And we mean it. We mean it. If you have questions, please pop them into the chat. I'm a bit selfish here, but usually questions are my favorite part. And so, yeah, please write into the chat.
Great. All right. So here is the Surfer's content editor. Everybody knows it. And there's the topics tab that quite a few months ago was added to the app. But what's inside? It's basically all the facts, all the topics that need to be covered, with the sources, with the fact they are categorized under some general like SEO fundamentals, like SEO techniques. It's how to learn SEO. That's why we have these topics. But when we first introduced that, you said, like, you users said that, oh, come on, it's too hard to include these facts in my content. So what we've added is the coverage booster. Basically is like a magic button that, similarly to auto optimize, will include all of the facts in your article to make sure that it's not only like entities and fluff content, but really conveying the information. So what I'm gonna do right now, as you can see, it's empty content editor. I will pull one of the pages that is ranking in here. Let's say who we are gonna optimize. SEMrush. Why not SEMrush? So I will just take their article. I will put it inside, and I will. Oh shit! That's the UX, right? Deny, close. At least it highlighted everything properly. So it's good for stealing, not good for reading. Okay, so I got their content and I opened the topics tab, and it's calculating my coverage right now. So we will figure out how many facts they covered within their article. It's going pretty good. If we look at this, it's 48 facts in total, and they cover most of them. Only 13 left to be covered. So I click the boost coverage, and now it will be adding these facts in the content. First, obviously, is going through the content, figure out like what's the best place for this fact to be added, and then it's rewriting the section that the fact fits the best. And as you can see, it already started rewriting some sections. When it's finished, we'll get it. Okay, we got it here. This one is here. This one now is there. We can even compare the versions to see that it added the mobile friendliness in here. Also included entity technical SEO. Nice. So not to make it too long, I just save and close, and I'm happy with only 5 missing facts, which is actually a new way of optimizing content. Not only optimized for entities, as keywords are just keywords, and for large language models optimization is better to provide the information for Google as well. Not only the entities, cramming entities on the content used to be working. You could even put them in display none and rank higher, but these times are kind of, it's a short-legged, I would say, thing. So I would recommend.
I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it will still boost, right? It will still quite often increase your chances to rank higher, but why adding only entities if we can provide a useful fact that will tell that mobile friendliness is an aspect of technical SEO? It's so much better information than putting technical SEO somewhere in display none at the bottom of the text, or just putting all of these entities with commas at the very end. And I saw such optimization done, and well, not really the best idea. Another update is to those who are using API. You can update your content score via API endpoint. And the last thing, because I'm not taking too much time on it, is that you are supposed to be joining the content optimization masterclass. Why? Because it's a free course, and it is free till 20 something of March, so you better hurry up. It's a lot of content, great videos. The feedback we received already is awesome, so just get inside. It's good stuff. So that's what I wanted to share with you from my side. So coverage booster, don't optimize only for entities, optimize also for the facts. If you use the API, you can refresh content scores via API endpoint. And the content optimization masterclass, it's still a new thing. We dropped it like a month ago. So if you haven't tried it yet, check it out as soon as you can. And that will be it, I would say. the AI tracker. We will have a look at it later, maybe. Back to the B2B SEO thing. So what's the next big thing? Yeah,
next
Okay,
seriously.
big
so
thing
What
is
should we focus on? Is it is it
um,
is it still content? Should we focus on links? Should we sort of uh, do the same thing? So do all the things that work, or you see changes in here?
my answer is going to be both, and then I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to see, Helene, how you respond to that, in the sense that you still want to be creating meaningful and insightful content. You still want to be addressing people's specific questions, and you want to tailor that to their buying journey. I was just thinking about this. So, for example, we're an SEO agency, so we might be in need of an SEO tool. And so thinking also about the type of things, like for example with Surfer, right? What would people be looking up that are in a need of an SEO tool, right? Content optimization tool, content optimization software, SEO optimization software, these type of things. Maybe they're also looking up Ahrefs or SEMrush alternatives because they don't really understand how these products are different or the same, or they're looking ClearScope's alternative because they're looking specifically at content tools. They might be looking at pricing for different tiers. They might be looking at content writing solutions, content writing AI solutions. So I think everything that was true before, which is this idea of like providing meaningful and useful content that your buyer wants to read as part of their decision making process, that still very much remains true. I think links is changing a little bit. We're experimenting with different things. I think we can be much more creative and playful with links than maybe we used to be.
Mm-hmm. What does it
But
mean?
I think the
Like,
foundation of
what does it mean? Like you can hack the system, or you use some freebies,
I mean, I'm
or
not. Keep keep in mind you're talking to the agency person and a white hat SEO. So I'm no hacker, have never been. But what I mean by that is, I think as SEOs, what we always brought to the table was this, I'm getting a link from a high domain authority site that has organic traffic themselves, that maybe ranks well, that is topically relevant. And then we have an anchor, an optimized anchor text, and we send it to a page. Now, that is great. And I think there's a lot of value in that. But I think SEO, link building, and digital PR are getting a lot closer, which is, it's not just about these keyword optimized anchor texts. It's also about being discussed in the right places. And how do other people talk about you? And what is the context in which you're mentioned and appearing? And I think this is very obvious for digital PR folks, but I think it's maybe not as obvious to SEOs. And so I think that's one of the things where we need to switch our SEO mindset a bit.
so do you think that along with Google understanding better the content for its optimization purposes, like which page should I show that has the better information, they also allocate more resource to understanding how was the link, was the citation placed, so it can assign more value to, let's say, lower strength domain but better surroundings. You're trying to say that? Okay,
I
that
have
would
an
be
idea, Michal.
awesome.
Maybe you can pop up. Maybe you can pop up my slide, the one that I pulled up.
Absolutely.
So I tell you this: when I was an SEO and I started freelancing and started my agency, I purposely did not go into local SEO because I was afraid of name, address, and phone number, and I was afraid of all the data cleanup that you need to do when a local businesses changes their address or phone number. And you get the people who scrape all the listings, and then you need to change it and all this stuff. So when I talk about modern link building, I actually talk about alignment across the entire web. And what I mean by that all of a sudden for our startup clients, I'm doing a lot of stuff that feels a lot like name, address, phone numbers.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is, maybe for yourself as well, like, what is the category that you want to play in? Maybe you started, right, as a kind of like content optimizer tool. Now you have a lot of new AI functionalities as well, right? You like who Surfer was 5 years ago is not who Surfer is today.
Yeah.
The category in which you fit is not the same today as it was 5 years ago. And for our clients, that's the same. Maybe they used to be OKR and goal setting. Maybe they're now performance management. Like, right, as kind of like, especially as they're growing from a single solution into a kind of like holistic product suite, there is a lot of like legacy mentions and information on the web about them. And so when I talk about modern link building, I think the easy thing is you kind of want to clean up your digital footprint. So in green, you can see the pages that you can control, right? That's your own website, your homepage, your product pages, your blog. You can prune, you can
brought
optimize.
really big issue we've had. Sorry for interrupting, but we can have a little
Please
discussion
explain.
here.
This
Yeah,
is why we have you here. Tell us the surface story about this.
Imagine you have 1,000 affiliates, and everybody has a Surfer SEO review, and almost no one is updating either the pricing or the feature set. And if we Google properly, we will still find your. I still remember the title. On-page SEO tools on the rise or something, 2019 or even earlier. You were the first one to give us a proper mention in a big media. Thank you for that. And if we look at the content that was in there, and it's probably still in there, we would see such a blurred image of what Surfer is. If we have 1,000 places to read about Surfer, and every single place is different, and I can I think that for the B2B companies, especially for SaaS companies, it will be a real struggle. So maybe you got a way to deal with it. You got
exactly.
an idea?
It's a real problem. And it's a real problem. And we had that example. Oh God, am I going to find this now in my crazy slide deck? We had an example with a client where it happened exactly that. So this is the slide. When Google's SGE rolled out, it started talking about BetterWorks as cloud-based human capital management software. But that's not who they are. That's not who they want to be known for. Now, you see the three sources underlying there, and one of the sources is TechTarget, which, by the way, when we analyze the Surfer data, Unholy TechTarget shows up for a lot of bottom-of-funnel SaaS queries because it's a hyper SEO optimized content site. They had an article, what is BetterWorks? And the article started with, BetterWorks is a cloud-based human capital management software, and it's like top ranking. And so we needed to chase them, hunt them, bother them for months to update this article, which they then did to the new product description. And now Google AI Overview explains it properly. So
999
cleaning up your digital
to go.
footprint is huge. And this is why we're also, just to jump back to this other slide, is kind of saying, like, start with the things that you can control, right? You can prune old content, you can update your website. It's very easy for you to update your own YouTube, LinkedIn company, Crunchbase, on G2, Capterra, all that. You can update your product description. And then from then on out, it gets exactly wild, because then you have the listicles, 10 best on-page SEO tools, on-page SEO tools on the rise. You have media appearances, forum, user-generated content. And not everything can be updated, but you probably want to be updating the ones that constantly appear as a source in AI Overview and or LLMs.
So it's probably more like a reputation management right now. And it's probably easier to chase somebody, even offer a bribe, whatever, to adjust the content, instead of trying to rank your own article for that keyword and overtake them, right? I think it will be cheaper and easier to do it this way.
Totally. Helene, do you want to talk us through this idea of like owning every spot on page one for a keyword? I'm just pulling up this slide. I don't know if this is a great like, yeah, but I'll maybe let you talk through that. Is
Sure, yeah. This definitely ties to thinking about how does your brand, like how does Google understand your brand and how does LLMs understand your brand? I think it was quite early last year we started doing brand audits, we were calling them. As SEOs, we normally wouldn't care. We're like, oh, branded search, who cares? Okay, branded homepage, all right, all right. But then it was like, actually, we need to understand how the brand is being discussed so that I know if it's appearing in the right categories, especially like for SaaS category. Okay, if you are looking for a project management tool, do they know that, Asana is a project management tool? Google definitely does know that because it mentions it a million times across the web. But in some cases, if you have a new company, in this case, wasn't quite new, but it was still a smaller player in the HR space. And we worked with them to try to align all of their messaging. They went through a few shifts of that. We're actually going through it again. That's very natural in the SaaS community. So if you're feeling this is a mess, I will tell you it's normal. Everyone has gone through this. But cleaning that up and not just hyper focusing, oh, can I get that link on number one? But actually like, okay, how do I appear in AI overview? If I can't appear, can I appear, like you're saying, in one of
Mhm.
those other articles that are already there? How can we make sure that we have a knowledge graph or that we're appearing for the right queries for paid ads? How are people talking about us in UGC? Like we also saw in the data that Reddit and Quora are getting a lot of visibility, especially when you're looking at the comparative keywords. If you're looking for like best and top, you're definitely going to see more those discussion and forums. And I've seen reviews from clients that are like 7, 8 years old and they're not very great and they are being pulled in. So this is sort of like you're saying, a reputation management, thinking about that, like trying to talk about this as an SEO and being like, hey, maybe let's think about Reddit. Do you have someone to manage this? And it comes to be a little interesting, the space and all these shifts. But I really like that idea. Yeah, reputation management is 100%
S-
kind of
s-
what we're
So
doing.
people will
Yeah,
land on your sources, not someone else's source. That's the key message here, right? And
yeah.
uh, it turns out that
and also
yeah, go for it, go for it.
yeah, and also being able to respond to Reddit comments, right? So when people are talking about you, not so much that you can change people's mind, but think about all the other prospects that are reading these discussions later. What can you meaningfully add? Kind of similarly how you want to answer on your Google Maps reviews. And caveat here, social listening for a brand like Surfer is very difficult for the same reason that social listening for our brand called Flow is very
Hmm.
difficult, for the same reason that it's difficult for our client called Beekeeper or people like Lighthouse, is because you're going to get a lot of noise.
Yeah,
But
generic name.
for projects that have a kind of like fantasy name, a unique name, you can pretty easily with Zapier and Slack set up a notification so that every time someone mentions you on Reddit or Quora, you get a Slack message and you have an opportunity to respond to that.
Nice. So mm, my proposal here would be to maybe move a little bit towards the AI overview stuff because even in Poland they started to roll it, and I've got one tip to optimize AI overviews and general large language model visibility. So let's maybe move to that direction now. But before we do so, I will share my screen for a sec and show you this QR code. This QR code leads to really cool survey that we will turn into quality stuff later on. So if anybody watching, I'm sending the link here in the chat as well. If you could fill it, that would be great. And as I'm on the mic already, if you're not subscribed to the channel of Surfer, do it right now. And if you didn't like the video yet, do it right now. Thank you so much. And to everybody, by the way, to everybody who is watching on a replay, you can still like and subscribe it. It doesn't. It's not only for the live viewers. However, I appreciate you 76 people being with us today. Thank you so much. All right, enough of the QR code, and let's have a look at these stats. Oh goddamn, I love these
So
charts.
we have 2 data studies, right, Helene? Do you want to get us started on this one first, and then we'll go into the surfer data as well?
Sure. So this first wonderful or not so wonderful, depends how you're going to read this data. We worked with a set of, let's say, work tech keywords. So in the HR space, workforce management, set of keywords all the way from bottom to the top, and analyzed them for their appearance in AI Overview last June. And that's what you'll see in the green. It was nice and beautiful and very low. I was still really excited because it was like 5% appearance for bottom of funnel. We decided, well, it's definitely showing a lot more. Let's run the numbers again. So we ran them again, I think just a couple weeks ago. And unfortunately, it's increased 300% in total, but definitely top of funnel is getting decimated with AI Overview. So you're definitely going to see a bit of a drop, if not already, in your traffic from those top of funnel blog posts.
So hold on. Is it the drop of the traffic caused by attribution problems, or people are really not visiting?
They're getting their answers. I mean, the point of AI Overview is that Google wants to answer your question. They want it to be easy.
Steal
They
your
want it to be
content.
seamless. Yeah, in a way, yeah. They don't need to cite themselves in AI Overview. They are AI Overview. So it's a bit of a game that you're going to have to play, but thinking about how do you create content that's irreplaceable. And I think that's like a lot of what SEO is kind of talking about at this moment. You know, there's a lot of repeating the same content, copying your competitor, having the same top of funnel articles. That's boring. It's always been boring. I'm excited that people are thinking about content in a different way and being more open-minded. And I think that's where you have an opportunity. If you do, top of funnel content is important. You still need to speak to people at that stage. So I'm not saying ditch it. I'm just saying that maybe measuring organic traffic isn't necessarily
Can you
going to be
provide
important
some
there.
examples on top of the funnel keywords, bottom of the funnel keywords, let's say for this HR SaaS?
Sure. Bottom of funnel, field service management software. Top of funnel, what is invoicing for construction or something like basic, looking at, you know. And yeah, so
So
thinking
it's
about
about the
that.
stage of the potential visitor. The one is looking for really a thing that you offer, and the other is basically learning in the area. Is it
Yeah.
correct? Okay. Just for everyone to be on the same page and know what are we talking about. Thank you.
No, that is a fair call. Sorry to everyone for being a little bit of a marketer and not explaining that, but definitely would say it's keep an eye out there. Top of funnel is definitely taking a hit with AI Overview, but also bottom of funnel. I've noticed. So we're definitely going to see a shift there, and I'm curious how that will influence leads in the coming months.
So it's growing when it comes to having the AI overview on the SERP, but how much the traffic dropped? Like, is it like really parallel to these, or in the end the traffic is there not that devastated as in here?
I can only speak anecdotal. From this, we didn't
Of
have real
course, only
data for
anecdotal.
that.
These are the best evidence.
Yeah,
Feel free.
no, anecdotal. I would say I'm definitely seeing, like, probably across the board, there's maybe like 3 to 4 blog posts there year over year. That traffic is gone. They've always been ranking #1. They're showing up in AI Overview. They're still getting seen. It's still a brand awareness play, and I think it's important. But they're not going to get that traffic. It's probably, I tell them it's gone. Google stole it. Don't try to get it back.
But
Let's
was
try to
that
get traffic in other ways.
is that traffic really like full of calories, if I can say it this way? That's
A bit,
that's
yeah.
the key question, right? So what's the temperature of water boiling? And well, it's hard to convert that kind of visitor anyway.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking how we can, as SEOs, as marketers, adjust to the situation. Because, like 4 or 5 years ago, I would say, write this and that, and you will be able to show off with your Google Search Console chart that goes up. But how it translates into leads, into business, into money in the end, it's definitely not parallel to that hockey stick in Google Search Console. So, does it mean that we should create these pages maybe not for traffic but for sake of topical authority, sending internal links and making sure that our converting pages that, sorry for the monologue, AI overviews cannot answer easily, can rank higher? So we still write content but not
I
for
agree with
traffic.
this is exactly what I'm saying. You can't ignore that top of funnel content. And I don't know to the extent of how much we need that to have topical authority. I think that's something that maybe as SEOs we haven't quite figured it out. How much content do you need?
I
I
don't
have no
know.
idea the
From my point
answer.
of view, you need all the content. You need all the content written ideally by Surfer AI. But in the real world, we all have limited budgets. It can be either money or time, resources, transformation of the website, transformation of the offer, whatever, whatever, whatever. So, if you were here to advise a B2B SEO marketer or writer or content strategist, what type of content should I focus on to spend my money or time well?
Easy, bottom up. Start on your product pages. It may
Mm-hmm.
sound crazy to jump right in there, but no, jump into your product pages. See if there's ways through your features, your use cases, solutions. Can you
So,
get people who maybe don't know your brand?
does it
And then
mean that?
from that, building content off of that idea. You know what I mean? It's going backwards. Instead of starting from the top of the funnel,
Mm-hmm.
start from the bottom and then build out that way. It's a lot harder to guess where people start and then try to figure out how they get to
And
the
probably
end. But we know where they end.
these are not well covered in the SERP just
Exactly.
yet, and maybe there is no real solution for that constructor invoicing thing,
Yeah.
that you will basically be the one and only provider in the top 10 search results that will actually solve their problem. So does it mean that the search volume thing is kind of gone and we shouldn't chase? I mean, we never should, but there is a common myth around the situation when people are trying to create a content strategy. Then they will go to the client and say that, look, we can have millions of people on our website, but they will provide zero money. So does it mean that we should really focus on potential visitors that can, on the very first visit, turn into customer? Does it mean that we should focus in there instead of millions of eyeballs on the website?
Why
No or
not?
yes?
I'm curious how you're gonna. I'm curious how you're gonna take this, Helene. But I would say for bottom of funnel transactional keywords, I would definitely ignore search volume
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
this is about high intent. This is about hand raisers. This is about people who are ready to buy. This is about being specific. You're not going to rank for project management software, right? But maybe you rank for project management software for construction or something like that. So you want to be specific and you want to make sure that the right people reach your website and you want to convert them. So I think for bottom of funnel, I don't never look at search volume, but I look at it a lot less. And I think we need to be there anyway. And plus, if no one is searching for this, maybe it's not the right bottom of funnel keyword that you picked, right? So I think if no one is looking for the solution that you have to offer, you either have a big business problem or you need to create a category maybe like on-page SEO tools and define that and generate demands for that so that people start looking for it. It's a little bit different. But usually you want to see, okay, are people already looking for that? But I think bottom of funnel is not a search volume game. It's not even a sessions volume game. It's only about conversion and getting the right people to the website. And then now, if you're choosing kind of mid and top of funnel educational topic, I do think search volume is an interesting data point. I just don't think that should be your only decision-making criteria.
Yeah, I see people going crazy about this tool estimates search volume at 3,000. The other says it's 2.5, and they tear their hair like, who should I trust? How can I make decision what to write about? That's not the point. That's not the point, right? It's
I
like
think it doesn't matter, right?
yeah.
Compare apples with apples, maybe pick one tool and then compare. It's more a directional indicator anyways. I mean, people have asked questions for a long, long time. Keywords and search queries are getting longer and longer. They're going to be even longer now that we're used to the AI chatbots. I think it's for years that however many large percentage of searches were net new every time anyway. And so search volume is really, it's an estimate. It can help you kind of like understand a little bit what's going on, what do people want. But I think it should
Like
be
10
one
people
factor and not
versus
the only.
10,000, right? Just order of magnitude, like how many in general are interested. And we got a cool comment in there that the traffic loss is mostly on the informational keywords, and these that are transactional and commercial are not affected as much. And how would you comment from your experience? Do you see this trend?
Yeah, I mean, when
definitely
people are ready to buy, yeah, they kind of need to come to your website. And then again, the higher the price point, the more complicated the buying decision, the more they will eventually have to come to your website and check it out what you do. I don't know if e-commerce at some point, $10 black socks, you can do all that, or probably with an AI personal assistant soon. But thinking about a 5-figure, 6-figure kind of like a business contract, you probably don't want your AI assistant to just close that. You probably, at some point want to check out the vendor.
Okay. We got this this title of the webinar B2Bs, and there's a SaaS in it. So maybe we can try to provide one type of content that Helen said the product pages. I would say it can be versus pages for SaaS product, and you
Right.
have the hardest task, Viola, because you are the third, and you have to figure out something. We got the
I'm gonna
versus
riff off the
page.
two of you,
Yeah.
but I think industry pages. That's also a lot of the stuff that Helene and her research has surfaced. We've
What's
been studying
industry
landing
page?
pages.
What is this?
So in your case, maybe it's like on-page SEO tool for agencies, on-page SEO for freelancer, on-page SEO for SEO affiliates, right? So kind of like breaking down the audience, which could be industry, right? It could be kind of like construction, retail, manufacturing. Sometimes it's for on-page SEO tool for SEOs, on-page SEO tool for writers, right? There's different options, but you basically want to segment it by the audience.
Does it
Now,
mean we
you
could go
can't.
programmatic on it? If they are not, because you can have a situation when there is a real difference between product for one category and product for the other, but sometimes there will be no difference. So is it a programmatic SEO opportunity or not?
I would say you're probably working off the same page template. And so in this way, it's probably is. But I don't really know how many industries people are serving. My assumption is, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3. I don't know. I kind of feel like you could probably just write these.
Yeah.
Good. So maybe we can talk a little bit, because we are kind
Should we talk about the surfer data a little bit?
Oh yes, let's have a look, because as you I'm talking to the users. As you know, we are collecting some AI overviews information, and we share that information with the top people in the industry, including ladies present with me here today, including Kevin Indig, Eric Van Buschkirk. We also had a webinar. If we do some YouTube magic, I can show that the webinar link will be there, right? But so you can check it out. And we also shared the same, another iteration of the data with Viola and Helene. And let's have a look at what they found out.
Helene, you want to get us started here?
Sure. Yeah. So graciously got to dig into this data, trying to figure out what to do with lots and lots of data. So we thought, let's focus in on what we're obsessed with, B2B SaaS SEO. So copying off of our other research that we've done, we basically just filtered the queries that we were looking at to include software, tool, platform. I decided to exclude app. It's just that it was bringing in a lot of very interesting things. It was just becoming a bit of a data nightmare for me to handle and do a quality control. Let's just exclude it. Also excluded free because I find that is a totally different search intent than what we're talking about. And to exclude very random queries, who, what, when, where, and why, how, dropped, which helped us get to those people who were looking for very transactional queries. This software, this platform, this tool, they're ready to purchase. And so we looked at all of these that had AI overview and compared. We did August, September 2024 compared with January, February 2025. Viola has some very, if you want to talk about there.
Oh, apologies, I think I froze there for a mini second.
Yes, there is a
me too.
little
I think I'm
issue
back.
in there. And let's check.
I'm back.
Okay, good.
I'm back.
Yeah, so carry on, please. Maybe that's my laptop. I said in the beginning that it's
No.
gonna to fly.
So, sorry, I don't know if I was cut off, but basically saying, Viola, if you want to talk us through some of the really interesting things that we found comparing the appearance of domains in organic search versus citations in AI overview.
Perfect. So yeah, we basically wanted to know, right, if someone's ready to buy, someone who's looking for software, what are the underlying sources that AI overview is generated from? And so looking at data today, what's happening right now? What's happening in February, like 2 weeks ago? So we noticed that the underlying sources were quite interesting, maybe different from what I expected. So one thing that really surprised me is the huge amount of YouTube. I think in general, also organic search, we've seen a lot more YouTube videos for B2B over the last year. I think my assumption was always YouTube is a bit more B2C, lifestyle, how-to queries. Not anymore. Shows up in classic organic search, shows up in AI overview a lot. We can also see that some players like LinkedIn, I think a lot of people probably noticed that LinkedIn is a very strong domain and you can publish a LinkedIn article for free and you can optimize it for your keyword and you can start ranking for that. So LinkedIn gets pulled in a lot. TechTarget is a very strong SEO site in the SaaS space that I talked about earlier. They're ranking a lot. Gartner is a review site. I think that makes sense. And then the ones that are really, really strong are some of the SEO powerhouses, Zapier, ClickUp. They really have everything and anything SaaS, right? They have an article about it, they have a listicle about it, they have a page about it. And what's interesting from this is it's quite different from what's ranking organically. And so currently for bottom of funnel, we spoiled it before. There's a lot of Reddit, there's a lot of Quora. My tinfoil hat theory on this is that Google is so overwhelmed with the AI content, so desperately trying to find originality. They're currently over indexing on user generated content. I think marketers and SEOs are going to ruin this. Poor Reddit is going to be flooded by AI agents, and I think it will even out over time. But there's probably some sort of like first mover advantage to be had there if you're one of the first people doing that and working on that right now. Exactly.
Right now.
Exactly. So jumping ahead is what I also thought interesting was what I called the reign of Forbes is over. I don't know if you all remember kind of like June, July last year, when no matter what you're searching for, the AI overview always had Forbes as a source. It was like ridiculous. From when does from when does water boil to choosing performance management software, it was always Forbes. So thank God, the reign of Forbes is over. But yeah, Wikipedia and LinkedIn is on. So we're seeing a lot of Wikipedia and LinkedIn in the sources, very, very present. YouTube, like I said, that surprised me how much YouTube is getting pulled in for bottom of funnel SaaS queries. I don't know why in the beginning it pulled so much from the mobile YouTube and now this, but that was really surprising to me.
Hold on,
And
hold on.
then
Hold on.
yeah,
I will just break for a second because I just realized I got a great way for people to actually use that YouTube thing. So you can use a transcript of the video that is currently ranking in the AI overview, and I'm actually building a R&D feature that is able to pull to turn any type of information into any type of content. So I imagine this. We pull the information from the very highly ranked and cited YouTube video, we take the transcript and we turn it into a perfect article and we publish it on our website. And that could be a really good way to choose who to reap when it comes to the information. So if Google is taking our information, why not take the information from Google? Because YouTube is Google. So yeah, that was just like this little plug. I got this little light bulb I want to share, and yeah, carry on.
and with that, you probably already solved the mystery as to why is there so much YouTube, right? It's another Google property.
Yeah.
Now, I think what's kind of good is that individual software sites are starting to appear. We mentioned Zapier, Adobe, ClickUp, Soho. Now, we don't really know what everyone was searching for, but I assume, right, Surfer is a tool used by a lot of SEOs, a lot of
Yeah.
marketers, and
It's
my
a
assumption
biased.
is that's
It's a biased data set. It's a biased data set.
exactly.
We have to say it for sure.
Exactly. And I think that's why we're seeing these specific tools here, because these are tools that marketers use and are interested in. I think if we, for example, had the Google usage of a construction company or an electrician company, they might be looking up different type of queries that don't pull Zapier, Adobe, and ClickUp so much. But I think overall that's good news, and it kind of like feeds into another trend which we'll talk about, is that also for classic search we're seeing a lot more homepages and feature pages rank. For a long, long time, it was like G2, Capterra, 13 best on-page SEO tool, 18 best on 48 best on-page SEO tools, right? That was the only thing that was on page
The
one.
longer the
And
list
that's really
is a ranking factor, right? In the
exactly.
funny
And so I'm
numbers.
kind of exactly a believable number, exactly. And so I'm kind of excited that we're seeing a lot more product pages and also SaaS appearing. And then I think the last one that I had was interesting. This is what I wrote: is where the review sites and listicles. Tech Target, again, it's haunting us. I think that's a sign again for bias, because we're looking at search queries that were done by SEOs and marketers. But it's been interesting for me. Gartner, probably a more mature enterprise buyer that looks on Gartner. So I thought that was interesting as well. And then we do a lot of HR tech, so I was kind of excited to see people managing people there, because they're also a phenomenal SEO site. So if we think about SEO review sites, just two comments: G2 and Capterra lost a lot of traffic in classic organic search over the last 2 years. So G2 in blue, Capterra in kind of like orange. Gartner red stayed kind of the same. That being said, that little screenshot that's on top of it, this is Helene pointing out they're actually winning in AI overview. They have, compared to how often they appeared in the summer of last year versus how often Capterra, G2, and Trust Radius appear right now, they're actually growing. They're not the top 10 most cited pages like LinkedIn and these others that we just talked about, but they're growing in AI overview, and I think that makes sense.
Okay.
And then let me quickly see how I'm
Mm-hmm.
wrapping this up. Yeah. So just kind of wanted to summarize this again. Maybe Helene, you can speak to this in a second, this one first, and then I'll summarize it.
This chart is just showing our data set, comparing that August to September to January, February, to see the AI overview change. So which sort of domains kind of won over the time, which ones lost. As we talked about, seeing Zapier, ClickUp, research,
And so
Reddit up
everybody
there.
knows, even the sample is biased in a direction, is a biased in the same direction between these two time frames. So the same type of people were in there. So it's not coming from changing the users that produce the data. Users were the same. They are still having the same habits, and only the domains changed. I'm silent now.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's good to say. And of course, it was kind of funny to see, but I expected to see for like AI loss, Forbes losing quite a lot, and HubSpot, since those were two domains that I know SEOs were talking about losing a lot of traffic and getting hit, and they definitely lost in the AI overview. So that's to say, as these big guys are getting knocked out, that's an opportunity for you. So I see it
So
as a plus.
how to rank in AI overviews then? How to rank in large language models? Uh, these are two questions that come to my mind. Even though we only have 4 minutes, maybe we can drop some ideas for the people. Not too many questions on the chat. Actually, I think more like a zero question. So maybe we can uh, try
Sure.
to explain how to get better in AI overviews and large language models, because like Search GPT, because if you ask ChatGPT, hey, what are the best SEO tools, and it will tell you, and we see a lot of traffic coming from this direction. And as we will be discussing that, I will just show you that we are building this AI tracker that you provide your brand and you provide your niche, and it will give you how frequently you are mentioned, what are the potential questions that people ask, and who are the competitors, and so on. But how to increase the position?
Sexy. I'll attempt at a 1 minute answer, and then Helene, you can do the same. So, good news. We think SEOs are uniquely equipped to work on ranking in Google's AI overview and large language model, because a lot of the things that we learned about sorting information by relevance remains true in that new environment. So, unique, insightful, original content, still important, still want to keep doing it. Prioritize your content ideas. Start at the bottom of funnel, even if that seems counterintuitive. Close these content gaps first, then work your way up. Link building, again, you want to be shifting from purely thinking about links as anchor texts and domain ratings. You want to think about mentions and context and where you featured, and do you have some digital footprint that you want to clean up because they don't talk about you in the right way. And just to state the obvious, you do want to make sure that the crawlers can actually crawl your website. I'm saying that especially to your German friends out here that are afraid about copyright, which I am too. But the fact is, if these tools can't
And
crawl
giving
your
Google Search
website,
Console access.
you also can't appear in them. So make sure you're crawlable for these for the crawlers. Make sure you have original content and get more creative with links. It's not just about domain rating and keyword optimized anchor text.
Helene.
Yeah, you kind of stole mine. I would say locking in your brand messaging, like we were talking about that, but locking that in and keeping that consistent throughout all the content and aligning all of the people involved with marketing is going to make a big difference. And literally having your site be crawlable, indexable, that is how you will appear in AI and in search. There's not really, you don't need structured data. You can appear without it. So don't over obsess over the technicalities. Just create good content and it will be found.
All right, thank you. I will drop mine. because when we were analyzing these outputs from this little tool I showed you a minute ago, Jakub actually found out, like, why is this website showing up on the top? Why is it showing up on the top when I asked ChatGPT what are the email search tools or something, and they always listed that one above the others. I was like, why? Why is that? Why is that? And he started to dig into this particular example, and I will tell you that's ridiculous and simple. They were presented on these listicles like 13 best tools, whatever. They were on the top of that freaking list. That's it. That's it. So right now it's not only about getting a backlink from a long website, a long page that are listing SEO tools. You need to pay for the top spot. This way you will be
So true.
cited as the best, because that's the easiest for large language models, for Google to assess what are the top tools, those that are on the top of these lists. So that's my tip for ranking higher in all of these recommendation type of queries, that you can get better results. Paul
Yeah, and
Paul says he missed it.
I would love to be able to say that that's not true, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, I will give you $100 to bring me a little bit higher in that old page that nobody visits anyway. Yeah. Paul says that he missed most of that because of the daylight saving time change. Don't worry, Paul. It's on YouTube and it's recorded, and you can send us email, and I will make sure to connect with Viola and Helen and ask you a question directly. So don't worry about that. Uh, Surfer Fact Source Tool. It's in a content editor topics tab. It's in there. All right, we have to wrap it up because we are already 2 minutes after the time. So, that was totally off the agenda, which is the way I prefer to have these. Hope you as well. I think it turned out really conversational, and we really went with the flow. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting us. This has been super fun. And again, I think the brainstorming, collaborating, hearing different people's opinions always exciting, and especially now because again, we work with a lot of B2B SaaS. You're a B2B SaaS, right? And so I think that was a very, very fruitful debate here.
Thank you again for coming, and to all of the visitors watching us, remember to fill this form if you think it's for you. It will help us a lot, and we will turn it into asset. And yeah, again,
Absolutely.
I wish everyone the best rest of the day and good night, and wherever you are. Thank you again.
Thank you, everyone who came today. Appreciate you.